Lexi Hull walked into the game against the Chicago Sky with 2 black eyes. By the time she walked off the court, she added a bloody lip to the collection. And yet, instead of sitting out, instead of retreating, she delivered one of the toughest performances of her career. It wasn't just about points, rebounds, or steals. It was about sending a message. Indiana isn't just sneaking into the playoffs. They're rewriting their identity right in front of us. The Fever's resilience was already being tested in ways few teams could survive. Their superstar Caitlin Clark was sidelined for the rest of the season with a lingering groin injury. Sophie Cunningham was out, Sydney Colson was done with an ACL tear, Khloe Bibby was dealing with her own knee issues, and Aari McDonald was gone with a broken foot. That's not a team dealing with bad luck, that's a team being gutted. A full rotation erased in a matter of weeks, and yet, this team refused to fold. Head coach Stephanie White admitted how brutal it felt. We've run out of time. We can't do it safely anymore. She was talking about Clark's comeback hopes, but the words captured the whole vibe around Indiana's season. The clock kept ticking, the bodies kept falling, but somehow this group was still breathing, still fighting, still in the playoff race, and then came Chicago. Now on paper, a 97-77 win doesn't look all that historic. 20-point margins happen, but context matters. This wasn't just any win. This was Indiana's 5th straight win over the Sky this season, a complete sweep. And it wasn't even close. On average, the Fever beat Chicago by 24 points per game. That's not competition. That's domination. That's humiliation. Think about that. One team absolutely erasing another over 5 straight games. It exposed the gulf between a franchise that was unraveling in public, Chicago, weighed down by Angel Reese's controversies, and one that was pulling itself together with duct tape. Toughness and chemistry. Indiana Kelsey Mitchell set the tone early. She poured in 20 points and dished out 8 assists, running the show with poise. Natasha Howard was everywhere. 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals. The veterans delivered. The role players contributed. And the stat that told the story? 27 assists to just 9 turnovers. That's trust. That's chemistry. That's playoff basketball. But as good as the numbers were, the night belonged to Lexi Hull. Hull had already been carrying the marks of a collision with Gabby Williams from the week before. 2 black eyes that made her look like a fighter stepping into a ring. She could have used it as an excuse. She could have sat, said her vision wasn't clear, said the pain was too much. Instead, she suited up. And then, in the middle of this game, she took another shot, this time across the mouth from Chicago's Camila Cardoso. Blood on her lip, bruises under her eyes, sweat pouring down her face. Hull just kept playing, no complaints. No theatrics. No excuses, that's toughness. That's the Fever's new identity embodied in one player. Stephanie White couldn't help but laugh when reporters asked about Hull's appearance. She said every time she sees Lexi's face, she smiles, not because of the injuries, but because those bruises represent everything the team is about. She epitomizes our resilience, White said. And she's right. Hull isn't just filling minutes. She's setting a tone. Her defense was relentless, hounding Chicago's guards every possession, throwing off rhythm and forcing mistakes. Offensively, she chipped in with timely buckets, knocking down threes and keeping the ball moving. And in the post-game press conference, when asked about the black eyes, she delivered the line that's now echoing across Indiana. She said they play for each other, healthy or not. That every bruise, every cut, every sore muscle is proof of the fight they've embraced. That's leadership without asking for the spotlight. That's the quote of the season, and it came at the exact moment Indiana needed it most. Because let's not sugarcoat it. The Fever were clinging to their playoff hopes by a thread. Coming into this matchup, they sat in 8th place, just 1 game ahead of the Los Angeles Sparks. One bad night, one slip-up, and the season could have spiraled. Instead, they not only beat Chicago, they buried them. The Sparks lost their game to Atlanta, and suddenly Indiana didn't just hold on to 8th, they jumped into 7th. Even opening the door to 6th if results keep breaking their way. That's how fast things can change when toughness takes over. And look at the contrast. On Indiana's side, players are banged up, missing stars, juggling lineups, yet still building chemistry and fighting together. On Chicago's side, chaos. Angel Reese suspended for her 8th technical foul, throwing teammates under the bus in interviews, and a franchise that looks like it's stuck in quicksand. Indiana swept Chicago so badly this season that the point differential between the two teams now ranks as one of the largest in league history. That's not just basketball. That's culture. That's identity. And make no mistake, this playoff berth means something bigger than just extending the season. Indiana spent nearly a decade buried at the bottom of the WNBA, forgotten, mocked, irrelevant. Now, even with Caitlin Clark sidelined, they're proving that the rebuild isn't about one player. It's about a foundation. A foundation built on players like Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham when she returns, and yes, Lexi Hull's emergence as a warrior figure, bruised but unbroken, is the perfect symbol of that foundation. Because when you sweep a rival 5 straight times, when you clinch a playoff spot despite missing half your roster, when your young players are growing into themselves while veterans hold it together, that's not luck. That's not surviving. That's becoming. Now picture this. Caitlin Clark healthy, rested, and stepping back into this exact roster next year. A roster that's already proven it can win without her. A roster that has learned how to fight through adversity. That's not just a playoff team, that's a contender in the making. So yes, Indiana won by 20, but what they really did was something far more important. They proved that their identity is toughness, resilience, and belief. And Lexi Hull's black eyes and bloody lip, that's the image that defines it all. The Fever are no longer a story about what they're missing. They're a story about what they've built. And with every game, every bruise, and every statement like Hull's, they're writing the first chapter of something much bigger. Get the brooms out, because Chicago's gone. Indiana isn't just in the playoffs. They're here to stay. Comment fired up for the Fever if you're fired up for this win. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.